How are you doing, guys? ZDEyE here. So today I definitely wanted to share my thoughts on this very particular and interesting topic of regards of next Sony's PlayStation handheld device. Now, I will share my full thoughts right after I will read out this quick little article from Insider Gaming that they are the ones that broke this news as well, and also what perhaps maybe we can expect out of it. I'll read it out real quick and then I'll share my thoughts. Following days of speculation, Insider Gaming can report that there's new PlayStation handheld is in the development. Codenamed the Q Lite, the next PlayStation handheld is next piece of Sony's hardware that aims to be yet another piece of hardware that requires the PlayStation 5. Insider Gaming understands that Q Lite is not a cloud streaming device, but instead uses remote play with the PlayStation 5, a feature the console giant has been pushing these past couple of weeks. Sporting adaptive streaming up to 1080p and 60 fps, the new device will require constant connectivity to the internet. As for the console's physical features, early prototypes show the console will look a lot like the PlayStation 5 controller, but with a massive 8-inch LCD touchscreen right in the center. The device sports adaptive triggers for the haptic feedback and will include what you would come to expect from the handheld: volume buttons, speakers, audio input jack, and etc. Insider Gaming understands that the Q Lite is in its QA phases and is scheduled to release before the PlayStation 5 Pro and after the detachable disk drive of the PlayStation 5. I actually have made videos about that as well. As previously mentioned by industry insider Jeff Grubb, Sony is planning to announce its second phase of the PlayStation 5, which was in reference to its future games slate. Ironically though, this second phase is very much true for the Sony's hardware offerings, with the new detachable disc drive PlayStation 5, Project Nomad, wireless earphones, Project Voyage, or Voyager I believe that's how you pronounce it, wireless headset, and a Q Lite handheld, all scheduled to release within a very short period. It's understood that the PlayStation 5 Pro is aiming for a holiday 2024 release. So whatever Sony's next PlayStation showcase will be, it's seemingly going to be a big one. I will be quite honest, I personally think that this handheld for the PlayStation 5, well, I don't think it's necessary. In fact, matter of fact, I think it's actually completely useless. Well, maybe I'm being a little bit too harsh about it, but I don't think it really will work. You need to have a constant internet connection towards this as well. And having like an 8-inch LCD touchscreen right in front, it's about, give or take, 20 centimeters. So that's pretty big. Now, where is this idea coming from? Like, what are they striving to do here? Is it that they're trying to get rid of all the components that they've got, and maybe that's why they're trying to recuperate the loss of the VR headset? Because yes, I have heard that the report's been mentioned that VR headset, PSVR 2 headset has, well, sold very poorly. It's somewhere around the range, give or take, of 300,000 units. And that the expectations that Sony or PlayStation had was about 2 million. Yeah, that's quite substantial and it's quite dangerous as well. Maybe that's where they're trying to recuperate their cost now. And so this actually has been done already before with the, I believe it was the PlayStation View, if I'm correct, or was some other device, the product that was actually taking older components from PlayStation Vita and implementing it into that device. So, you know, like I said, they're trying to recuperate the cost, they're trying to make sure that they get their money back. But yeah, I don't know. I think this handheld doesn't really have much of a future. I actually don't think the handheld in general doesn't have a future, because after the PlayStation Vita, well, we all know how that turned out to be. It was actually a failure, unfortunately. But yeah, you know, when you think about it as well, I think it's just that time and era that we live in. I think the handheld is, well, it's not as popular as it used to be. Now, I'm sure a lot of you will argue and say, well, look at Switch. Switch, can you really argue and say that Switch is actually truly as a handheld, right? Now, it is very convenient. I'm not going to deny that for sure. Like, it's very easy to just bring Switch with you and play on a go. It really works. It's fantastic and it works. But also, a lot of people don't forget that they use Switch as a dock. So Switch actually uses two features at once, as a handheld and also as a device that you can play in your entertainment area, right? With a big giant TV as an example, playing like Zelda or whatnot. It's up to you, of course. And you see, like, with that case, consoles are becoming more popular than ever, with PlayStation 5 being the main highlight of that. It makes like sense why it is becoming like so much more popular. Handheld seems like they're actually getting less and less popular. I'm not saying Switch is the result that I'm wrong. No, because Switch is not just a handheld. Switch is also an entertainment device that you, like I said, that you can put it at home and play it from a comfort of your sofa, as an example. And you see, like, handheld in general, I don't believe there is a future for it any longer. Now, of course, like I said, like a Switch component, then yeah, I think there is a possibility for that. Now, of course, what has been mentioned in here regarding the code name, the QLIT or Lite, it really depends on the cost. I really do believe that. If it's gonna be somewhere around range of 200 to 300 bucks, man, you can just wrap it up and cancel it right away. It's seriously not gonna do well. And since also the limits that this has, that you constantly need to have a connectivity to the internet for it to be able to work, it's only will be able to work up to 1080p and also 60 fps. You see, like, there's always these limits and not consequences, but things that you have to take care of. And so where are you going to get the cost and recuperate the cost and such, right? Like, you know, if it's going to be a similar situation as it was with PSVR 2, well, that's what I think is going to happen if it's going to be way too expensive. PSVR 2 is more expensive than the PlayStation 5 console itself with a disc. That's insane. And even though it's still considered to be more expensive, even when PlayStation 5 console got increased in the price. You see, I don't believe that there is a future for handheld coming from PlayStation, especially that it's coming from, like, with all the limits that this has, that's been reported as well. So yeah, that's all I got. And also regarding, I want to sprinkle in here a little bit as well, regarding the detachable disc drive that you can have as well with the PlayStation 5, and like you have a choice of that matter. I just, like, if like it's been mentioned that this is not a slim design, but it's basically a rework for the PlayStation 5, and it makes sense, you know. I think it's actually about time to see this, because even though it feels like PlayStation 5 is a new console, and genuinely is a new console, but it's actually been almost 3 years since its release. Can you believe that? It's just, time runs, man. Time is about to, like, literally just we're blinking and we're already saying 3 years just like that passed by since the release of the PlayStation 5 console. And you see, like, with a detachable disc drive, I think it can work. I think it will be good. And also with a report of the PlayStation 5 Pro coming in the holiday of 2024, well, why would I need to go with a detachable disc drive for PlayStation 5 if I know there's gonna be bigger, well, maybe not bigger, but better console will be coming down the line in 2024. So obviously I'm gonna go with that route. But still, maybe they're gonna go a little clever with this, with the marketing and advertising, and so they're gonna mention the handheld is coming first, and they're not gonna say anything regarding if the PlayStation 5 Pro, and then the 2024 comes rolling around, and we're gonna get another showcase, and then that's where they advertise the next upcoming of the PlayStation 5 Pro. Anyway, guys, you know, I just want to have a little bit of discussion regarding these things. Handheld, I don't think it's going to be very popular. I don't think it's actually going to be revolutionary. I don't think it's going to do well, in fact. PlayStation detachable disc drive console, yeah, it will be good. It will not, like, be as popular as the PlayStation 5 in terms of the, like, you know, how expensive and how old, well, not how expensive, how many sales it's getting. But PlayStation 5 Pro, well, that could be a different story. That could be quite giant. Alright guys, that's all I want to have a little bit of a discussion regarding this situation of handheld and all that good stuff. Like and subscribe, see you guys all, and have a wonderful day.